In a crowded field full of eccentric candidates, Trump applied the skills he'd learned from years in the bare-knuckle world of Manhattan real estate. Eventually, Obama was forced to produce his long-form birth certificate.
And just to be clear, I know where my birth certificate is, but a lot of people don't.
A few weeks later, he got his revenge when he roasted Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
No one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing?
Trump responded to the humiliation by pulling out of the race. In the end, despite the excitement created by candidates who were on board with the Tea Party's agenda, the Republican nomination was won by Mitt Romney, a polite Mormon who'd founded a private equity firm. But Romney couldn't inspire enough Republicans to vote for him in the general election. Everyone expected Trump's interest in politics to fade, and for him to move on to other interests. If anything, his interest deepened. To people who made a career out of following Trump, it actually wasn't a surprise. Trump had a short attention span for things he didn't really care about. But when it came to things he did care about, like the West Side rail yards, he could be very determined. During this time, America was changing. News had become more and more polarized, and a spate of alternative news sources had begun popping up, such as Breitbart News. Trump took notice of the void that these organizations were filling and had begun really pushing the same narratives on his now blossoming Twitter account. Large swaths of the country were becoming red-pilled, and so was the Republican Party. Republicans won big in the 2014 midterms, winning the Senate and expanding their majority in the House. And they'd won by talking about crime, border security, and the threat from countries like China. Pollsters couldn't remember the last time so many candidates won despite having net negative approval ratings. Trump had always believed he could become president, but he'd never had the support from a major party he needed to actually win. Suddenly, the stars were aligning. Americans, especially Republicans, were willing to listen to increasingly radical solutions to the problems they faced. But no one on either side of the political aisle had Trump's charisma or name recognition. If he could put it together, it could be a potent combination.